Hello and welcome. I'm Ashley from Yoga for That, and I'm here to help you live your best life. Do you feel rushed getting from work to home, home to work, errand to errand, just getting everything done? Do you feel like you just don't have enough time to get everything done? Well, in today's video, I'm going to share my tips for staying organized so that you don't feel so rushed on a daily basis. Tip number 1 is using an agenda or a planner to stay organized. I personally use a physical planner so that I can flip through the pages and tick off the things that I've done. It's so satisfying for me to just cross something off my list that I had to get done. You can either use a physical agenda or planner like I do, and or use your Google Calendar. I use both. Google Calendars are great because you can set reminders, as many reminders as you want. If it's something really important, I'll set like a weekly reminder if it's something that I've planned way in advance. And then you can do like a day before, an hour before, whatever you need. I also like the fact that you can create like multiple calendars. So I have a work calendar, personal calendar, all sorts of different calendars. So I can actually tick off the calendars that I want to look at all at once or just one at a time. So it's really helpful to have some kind of planner, whatever it is that you want to use, to keep track of all the things that you need to do. And that leads into the idea of time tracking. So there's a lot of people, including me, that I underestimate sometimes how long something's going to take me. So when you're setting out what you need to do every day, consider how much time that task is going to take. And I have to say right now, because we are in a pandemic, things do take a little bit longer. Sometimes you have to wait in line to get into places. You might not actually be able to find the things that you're looking for because some stores are short on certain things and other stores are short on other things. So it's really important to give yourself that time so that you're not thinking, oh, I'm going to buy groceries, it's only going to take me 15 minutes. Well, I don't think maybe a handful of time I've bought groceries. I just need to buy one thing that it only took 15 minutes. But by the time you're waiting to get in the store, find what you need, and then waiting in line to pay, it can take, half an hour, 45 minutes, and then you still have to get from home to the grocery store and grocery store to home. So consider how much time things are taking when you're writing them down in your agenda or putting them in your Google Calendar. I actually add buffer time in my Google Calendar. So if I work 2 days at home and 2 days in the office and 3 days at home. And so the days that I'm traveling for work, I actually add in a commute time of half an hour so that I don't overbook myself and have to consider that, if on a Tuesday, normally I do my coaching calls on Tuesdays, but I finish work at 5 and I can do a coaching call at 5:30 because I'm already at home. But on a day where I'm working, I have to give myself, half an hour to drive home, get ready, maybe have a little something to eat, and then get ready for my call. So it's really important to consider those buffer times as well when you're setting out your calendar and setting out your Google Calendar. One more little thing for your calendar, make sure you're looking at it all the time. So I actually look at my calendar in the morning, throughout the day, and at night. If you're just kind of getting used to using a planner, I highly suggest looking at your agenda or planner at least at nighttime. So you know what's going on the next day, or you can sit down and plan out your next day. So when you wake up in the morning, it's already in your head of what you have to get done that day. So whether it's I'm doing a 2-week yoga challenge right now, so I know in my head I have to get up a little bit earlier, get ready, change, do my yoga, and then have some time to have breakfast and then get ready for work. So planning ahead, which is step number 2, really helps when you're looking at your agenda a lot. So start with looking at your agenda or your calendar the night before, like just before you go to bed or as you're planning for the next day. I set out my outfit, I plan what I'm going to make for lunch, or I make my lunch, just so you're all prepared for the next morning, because I don't know about you, but I always think I'm going to have more energy and more time somehow in the morning. But of course, there isn't more time in the morning. There's almost less, because at least at nighttime, if you spend 5 extra minutes than you thought making your lunch or getting ready, it doesn't really affect anything. Whereas if it takes 5 or 10 extra minutes in the morning, you might be late for work or late for whatever is on your agenda for that day. So make sure the night before you're looking at your agenda or your calendar. And then once that becomes a better habit for you, then I would highly suggest looking at your agenda in the morning as well and adding any last minute tweaks to it. So any last minute errands you have to run, or maybe you're like, I really wanted to do that today, but I'm just not going to have time. What can I move to a different day? Looking at your agenda and your planner often is really going to help you stay on track and hopefully not have you rushing all over the place trying to get things done. Tip number 3 is to set reminders for yourself. So Google Calendars, as I mentioned, is amazing for this. It's super easy to set as many reminders as possible. If you're also using a physical agenda or only using a physical agenda, I use like Post-its or flags and flag the pages that have important things on them. So that way you're like, what is that flag? And you look at it over and over and over again to remember. It's also good if you have, say, an appointment, you have to take something with you, paperwork or a credit card or whatever it is you have to take with you. If you flag it and then you look at that multiple times a day, you're more likely to remember what you need to take with you, or at least remember that you have a flag for that day and for that appointment so you can look at it before you head out for the day. Super easy tips for staying on track. So tip number 1, one more time, is to use an agenda or a planner, physical or electronic, whichever you prefer. Tip number 2 is to plan ahead. And tip number 3 is to set reminders. I really hope these tips help you out. If you're interested in learning more or hanging out with me each week for a coaching call, you can join my Live It Better program today. I'll put information in the description. Have a really great day, everyone, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.